We're expecting a record
Here she is.
audience.
Ah, fantastic.
Hey, you got changed.
Oh, Lizzie,
You got changed
fantastic.
to the Masterclass.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Excellent. Same for you. Where you wanna put?
Here?
Very good. And I think we can just lay it somewhere here where you can see it. Sorry. And do a little test.
Flip the board, shall we? Shall we do that?
Yeah.
It's much more exciting to see it with black.
All right.
Good evening and welcome from Gibraltar, the Cletter Hotel live here. We have a very special night's entertainment for you. It's our first masterclass of this year's festival, and we hope we have a lovely time in store for us all here. I'm sure we do. And on my left, just a quick introduction from me, then I'll hand you over to our two celebrities. Thanks first of all for joining us tonight. On my left, immediate left, I have Germany's top female player, and she's going to actually show her game for us tonight. She had a fantastic game today, full of tactics and lots of very interesting variations. And this is Elisabeth Paehtz. Thank you, Elisabeth, for coming along.
Hello.
And next to Liz, we have a man who's won this event 3 times. He also very nearly won it a couple of times since that as well. Tied for first last year, lost to Nikita Vichugov in a very tight playoff. And he also scored a fantastic 8.5 out of 10, pipped by Vasily Ivanchuk 3 years ago. Is that now, Nigel?
Something like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
So Nigel, a man who does fantastically well in this time. We know that he loves coming back to Gibraltar. He's always very, very welcome here. Mr. Nigel Short. So a round of applause, please, for Liz and Nigel. And I pass over to you. So Liz, off you go when you're ready. And thank you very much. Nigel?
I think you should lead. It's your game,
Yeah, it's
Liz,
my game.
so you do it. I'll provide some avuncular support. Okay.
Yeah, actually I'm showing the game today because it was a quite interesting game. It was full of tactics and there were a lot of variations which were not clear to me, maybe not to my opponent, but I guess to him it was more clear because he's quite a strong player with 2,700. And yes, I will just start with the opening.
So just tell us who you're playing.
I'm black against Pavel Iyanov from Ukraine. And I chose the Slav defense, and here are quite some options. A6 is one of the main moves, or E6, but I chose to play G6 because I'm not a friend of big theory.
And this is a very solid line, isn't it?
I think
it's sort of simple and solid.
It's Garakamsky's favorite line, I had
Is it?
this feeling, yeah. Because I saw a lot of games
Right.
of him playing this line, and the only drawback of this line is that black has to stay and wait,
Yeah.
which is not quite in the interest of women because they can't usually wait and
But that's
stay.
actually it's very interesting.
started-
You say we're off with the sexist comments immediately, which I like. I like that. It's very interesting you should say that. But I was talking to Dr. Jonathan Rowson a few years ago, and he said exactly the same. He said he thought it was a characteristic of female players not to do something. And that's okay because like 95% of positions you should be doing something, but occasionally you get positions where you just have to shuffle around, and this is the type of position we're going to get. So
Yeah.
we'll make a few more moves.
Okay, here bishop e2 is the second main line. However, bishop, okay, I don't really know the difference because I'm not a specialist with white. I just remembered after bishop d3, you usually go bishop g4 and you trade the knight. And then you block the center with e6.
Yeah.
Bishop g4, a3, take, and e6. And I think this is the moment where my theory knowledge is more or less over.
Is this your main line defense?
No, it's absolutely
Black.
not my mainline defense, but
So why did you decide to play the Slav? You just wanted to sidestep
the point
preparation.
is like I don't really have a main repertoire,
Ah,
and
okay.
Pavel has like different opening
Right.
things, and I wanted to choose something where there is not so much theory, or where if I blunder, for example, like in the opening, where I can be punished right
Well,
away.
you can't get checkmated in a
Yes,
position.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah. You're not going to lose in 20 moves playing like this. So
That's what I was hoping for, actually.
Okay.
Rook e8, okay, 97, rook e8, I think it's more or less the same.
Yeah, okay.
Bishop
Have you ever
e-
played this for black, Nigel?
I have indeed.
Really?
Yeah, I have played this this line for black. Don't ask me when or against whom, but I've done this. I've done a lot of things in my time. I've been around for a while, so I'm just trying to think. Did I play something similar? Maybe I played against 2011. I think against Nick Pert was the last time I had this line with black British Championship.
Okay, anyway, rook e8.
Yeah.
Bishop e2, knight d7, and here actually I think I also had this position once against Sao Xu, like 7-8 years ago, and I think she chose to go back with a queen e2 or something. But the plans are all
Against who?
Sao Xu. Do I pronounce the name wrong?
Probably.
Can you suggest a better pronunciation of this name?
The one who's playing here.
Yeah.
The one who won last year.
Yes.
Zhao Shui.
Okay, maybe. Rook d1, rook c8, and rook c1. And here we have the position where basically black has to wait doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I chose to go with my queen to e7, which I thought is a logical square. Bishop f1. And here I saw some games
So
where...
what's White's plan here? What is white trying to do?
I wasn't sure about this either.
Yeah. It's one of these very strange positions, actually, because let me make some sort of moves. I mean, if white advances early, let's say I guess you can take. And you can just play something like this. And the bishop is extremely, oops, can I do, oops, I can't do that.
No, you have to hold this. And
I've got to hold it, yeah.
You can
It's very
just hold-
effective on the diagonal, yeah. And then a rook will come to the D line. You can do all the arrows. You're so talented at that. Yeah, and then piling up on D4. So that's, God, you're talented.
Well, this is something which is quite...
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But
So-
actually what I thought about this position is it's for white not actually that great to change the knights.
That's
They-
absolutely
he should
correct.
keep the knights
Yeah,
on the
he
board.
needs a knight on, yeah.
Is that because of the d6 square? To play
You
c5?
you shouldn't simplify too much, and
Also because white has space advantage, so it's unlogical to change too much pieces usually.
Yeah. Okay, so e4 would be, let's say,
Simplifying, but
yeah, premature. I mean, there are other ways of playing. I just want to show another typical idea against e4. It's not a better idea, but sometimes you take like this, and after recaptures, you can play e5. So these are other basic ideas in this type of position. The other one's better, but I just wanted to mention it as being a possibility.
okay. However, he chose bishop f1,
Yeah.
probably just to
I've seen Dreyev playing these positions with white.
With
You
white,
know,
yeah.
you sort of shuffle around for very long periods of time. Sometimes you advance over on the queen side, a4, that type of thing. But it's a sort of slow process. So, how did the game get interesting? Because I saw it later on and it was very exciting.
It got quite exciting because at some moment he started pushing.
Right, okay, good.
So knight b6, actually knight b6, the idea is maybe to provoke c5, then I go back and I push
Yeah.
e5.
Okay.
I saw such ideas even so, I mean, anyway, I can't really do something to improve my position here.
Yeah.
So I just play around queen e2, rook
Yeah.
d8, queen c2. And now actually there is a threat of c5, knight d7 and f4 because I don't have knight e4 anymore.
That's actually very important. So, okay, so let's suppose you play a pass move. Let's say a6
E6.
or something. Could you
Yeah.
you can show this? So the point is, then you were concerned about c5 and f4, and this is puts a grip. And then we have this this weak square on
E4.
but black can't have
No,
that
no, no,
anymore.
no, no. You have,
sorry,
you have to
Christ.
first push
Don't
this
know how to do it.
button.
I have to push that one. That's it. Yeah.
And the difference is here, for example, in this position, after rook d8, here c5 is not yet a threat because after knight d7, f4, I have knight e4, which is quite important to have.
Okay.
That's why after rook, queen c2, I decided just to go back. Because anyway, he's also shuffling around, but he's not showing anything like now where I should be worried about. Okay, now a3, he wants at some moment to push b4, obviously.
Yeah.
So I went back to c8, rook d2 with the idea of queen d1, rook d8 with the idea of knight e8, and now I played knight e8. The idea of knight e8 is to get the knight to d6 and maybe, well, see what happens.
But you can even play. Can you not play like in a stone wall type of structure as
I
well?
could probably play with f5 at some moment.
Because f5 is maybe not so bad here. You've got rid of
But
your
it's white's
bishop.
move.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
Sure.
And here he pushed b4, and this was the first moment where I actually had to take some decisions. Because obviously the idea of b4 maybe is to play b5 and to weaken my queen side.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take on c4 and open the center, because then I thought like he will slowly prepare like to play at some moment e4 and d5, and then the bishops are open, and this is annoying. On the other hand here, knight d6 I also didn't like.
That is losing
Yeah.
time, isn't it? A lot of time.
Well, I played a6 with a quite logical idea. At some moment I might threat b5.
Yeah.
And then I stop everything.
And this is, of course, according to the classical principle of you have a black squared bishop, so you put your pawns on the
right
on the
squares,
opposite color square.
And here Pavel said like he didn't like his move queen b3.
What
Because
did he want to do instead?
He was thinking about playing bishop d3, not to lose his tempo as it happened in the game. But in general this position is quite solid for black, I would say.
Yeah.
However, he played queen b3, and now I went to knight d6. He is forced to play c5, because otherwise I will play b5.
Yeah.
And now I have two options, knight e4 and knight f4. However,
No, knight f5 looks. Knight f5 looks correct.
yes, I played knight f5.
Yeah. Good instincts.
I didn't want to change this time. And I thought like maybe I can
No.
cause some mess on the king side.
No, but now you have a threat to advance in
Yes,
the, in
I
the
have a
center.
threat on e5. That's why
positional threat.
he played bishop d3. Now e5, I think he takes on f5 and takes on d4, and
Yeah.
my structure is not that great. So I played queen g5.
With a cheap threat. Can you show us your cheap threat?
Well, I have a lot of cheap threats.
Let's suppose white plays a4.
Sorry. Cancel. My sheep threat is just to take on d4.
Oh, you trickster.
Unfortunately, my opponent saw that threat and he went back with queen d1.
He's quite good, isn't he?
Yeah. And now he has a very bad threat for each female player to change queens. And that's why I played
you like
h5.
having female company. do
Where
you?
the point is like
That's,
you shouldn't change queens with guys, right?
is that right?
No, but actually here h5 seriously is probably a good move, because
course.
I prevent queen g4 and
yeah.
I get some space. Also,
Yeah.
I was afraid that at some moment he may push me back with f4 g4 at
Yeah.
some moment,
Yeah.
not now. So he went on.
It looks like you've got a very good position.
I think even actually I would prefer black's position
no,
here
I
already,
like
even
it.
though I don't know what he did wrong.
No, I maybe b4 was premature.
I mean, he didn't like the idea of a3, b4 actually, but on the other hand, what he should do. I mean,
Yeah. So it's a sort of, Zugzwang, isn't it? The opening. Just basically no.
okay, the opening is basically a matter of patience. The one who's more patient maybe gets rewarded. That's what I thought before the game.
Right, okay.
And well, I can be patient for a change.
Okay.
And he played queen e2 because maybe at some moment I threat to take on e3.
Mm-hmm.
And here
Now, why didn't you play? Oh, you can't.
I can't play e5
That's
because
the
he
point.
takes on
And plays
f4.
f4. Cheap. Yeah, that's it. So
There's an interesting sacrifice with bishop takes d4. I
Oh.
saw that, but I didn't go for it.
No,
Because after this,
looks really wrong.
it looks wrong actually. And this
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
to take, and I take here,
Yeah,
and knight a4 probably. But this looks, I mean, black probably is okay, but it's very risky because of the black
No, I
bishop.
don't like that.
Me neither. And
Yeah.
I thought like my position is good enough not to go for this kind of
No.
funny things.
Yeah. So, why can't you play rook e8?
I was thinking to play rook e8. This was my first candidate,
Yeah.
but I was thinking maybe he goes f4,
And after-
queen g3, and knight d1, and I was somehow a little bit afraid of my queen there. Even here,
I like your position.
I also like my position, but
Why not g5?
g5, can I take on f5?
You can.
But Yeah, maybe if there's a point about this.
So I don't know. Did you analyse the game a little bit?
A little bit we analyzed, yeah.
So let's.
Also,
so-
h5 is maybe hanging.
Well, knight takes e3.
Yeah,
is
okay,
coming.
I have to take on f5, I guess.
So if takes, and now I like the pressure down the e file, and there is a threat to take on f4, and this looks pretty good for you actually.
This can be.
Just better.
Yes, I agree. I don't know. Can I go back and see what else I have as an option after rook e8? You threat e5 simply. I have to play f4, I guess, no?
Yeah, I don't know what white is doing. I think you've got an excellent position.
Maybe I can play rook e1 here.
Rook e1.
It looks better than knight e1, no? And then at least I have queen f2. It looks a little bit more solid.
Yeah, that's a better move.
It's a better version.
Can you play knight takes e3 and bishop takes d4?
Well, that's interesting.
That's actually quite
There's
interesting.
something on the diagonal at the end there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually, yeah.
What do you mean, like take on e3, take,
Yeah,
take?
okay, so let's have a look at that. So takes.
Oh, I meant bishop takes d4 first, Nigel, sorry.
Oh, immediately.
Mm.
Oh, Christ, that's crushing. Oh no,
Well-
you get mated.
Well, I'm not sure, you see, that was the
No,
point.
you get mated. Or yeah, knight b1. You get mated. No, a5.
It might be an e5, yeah.
That's it. Oh, you brilliant person. No, you don't. Bishop f1 is possible.
Oh, bishop f1.
Bishop f1. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay. I mean, you can play it, but it's not particularly
No.
great. But after rook e1, what do we have? Yeah, I was thinking just knight e3, queen e3, and just taking.
Can I play knight takes d5? Oh, no, I can't. You
And
have to take knight d1 then.
and
after that.
after this, you can take and play.
Wait, maybe there was another move between there. Maybe it was knight.
Knight takes
No,
b.
I also suggest this doesn't work.
Yeah, knight bishop takes b2.
Yeah.
Bishop takes b2 works. Yeah.
And e5 here.
e5, and I think that should be okay for, well, maybe f5.
But it looks also a bit risky, no? Okay, not risky, but
Yeah, very interesting unbalanced position, but there's no necessity for this. So what did you do?
I played h4.
So if we go right back, you played h4. I don't
Yeah.
like h4, but you were saying you were preventing.
Okay, h4 was the idea that after f4, at least I always have the square on g3 and he will never push g4. That
Okay,
was my
okay.
idea. And I thought, like, anyway, I can slowly prepare
All right.
queen g4,
Yeah.
and I went back, queen
Mhm.
e7, and a4, probably a4 was a little bit too optimistic. You should go rook e1, prophylactical against e5,
Yeah.
then to push with e4.
Okay.
And here
I don't like h4, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Also, Pavel didn't like so much h4.
Yeah. Just.
I know rook e8 was my first candidate move, but
Rook e8 looks normal. You should be pushing for e5 and let him create the weaknesses.
but h4 is a weakness.
Well, you've given a square.
But
that's
later
it.
on, this h4 pawn was quite a
Yeah, well,
giant.
okay.
And here, I think, I thought I made a mistake. I should first play rook e8 with the threat of knight h6 and e5.
Okay.
Because actually here, now I should push e5. And now
then-
after e4, the position
Yeah.
becomes very funny.
Right. Oh my God.
But I thought, like, if I first go here rook e8, then the
yeah.
threat is the same. Probably he has to go rook e1, but then the whole matter is e4 just doesn't work with rook on e8.
Okay, let's get to the meat of this.
So e5 and e4, and here, of course, well,
You blundered your queen.
no, I didn't plunder my queen. Just I didn't have an option, you know.
Okay, good.
I took and he took. And okay, here I thought also like queen g5 is interesting, but he gets too much counterplay with knight e4, take on d5,
Yeah.
knight d6, and bishop
Oh,
c4.
gosh,
I didn't.
oh, that looks horrendous. Can you? Yeah. Let's. No, this looks absolutely wrong to do this. Knight e4 and
Knight e6 probably.
knight e6 immediately.
And then bishop
Yeah,
c4.
bishop, well, that's killing.
Okay, f7 is still protected, but
Yeah. Oh, it looks
Knight-
horrible. Looks disgusting.
I also didn't like it much, so. But I saw after e5, I saw that he can push e4, and I saw also that I have to
Yeah.
sacrifice the queen, even so I was not sure about this position at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So take, queen takes e7, c takes d2 is forced, and rook d1. And
Okay.
also here, bishop takes b2 is forced, because at some moment rook e8 looks interesting, but after queen d7, rook e1 check, you can simply go king h2, and I didn't see anything, and the 8 is
Yeah.
hanging.
Yeah.
So I have to take, and here he took on d2.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he has so much other options, but probably it's the most easy one.
Okay.
Take on d2, and here I had two candidate moves. One was bishop c3, and one was bishop f6.
Yeah.
Actually, he liked more bishop f6,
Yeah. That's what I would play.
and after queen e7, simply king g7. This was also what I was thinking about, but somehow I didn't play it, and I don't remember why. Because we had already some time trouble here.
So, explain something to me, Lizzie. Why did White go for this? You see, because, look, when I learned how to play chess, I learned that a queen is 9 points. A pawn is 1 point. And you have a rook, bishop and knight for a queen and a pawn. So a rook, bishop and knight, that's 3 plus 3 equals 6.
It's
Plus 5,
it's 11
11.
against 10.
And he's only got 10.
That's what I also thought.
So I reckon you're doing well. Do you think he's no good at arithmetic?
No, but the point is like, if you go back to this position, you know, if he doesn't play e4, he simply will get pushed back. It's
Right,
even the
okay.
position gets even more annoying if he does like
Okay.
something else here.
So he's basically, it's like a pawn sacrifice.
Well,
what he
I
did.
think he's basically trying to make the position complicated, because actually in the game I had thousands of ways to plunder. So
Okay,
more
okay.
decisions a woman has, the worse it becomes.
Ah, right. Okay.
So, because already here I had two decisions, you know.
Yeah, now bishop f6 looks normal. And it looks excellent for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought like bishop c3 at some moment to attack, and after rook c2 I was...
Coordination.
No, the point is like I missed d takes c6 here, because I thought like after rook c2 I go bishop f6, and then the idea was that the d3 can be hanging. So I want to be even more precise.
You're getting too clever.
But
Yeah.
here actually after d takes c6 I realized actually taking on d2 is quite dangerous,
Of course.
because I'm too passive and I missed that move. This was one of the
Oh,
things
right,
I
okay.
missed.
So it was a tactical blunder.
Well, I don't think it's a big blunder anyway. It's a small one.
It's a small blunder. Okay.
Even though I'm not sure what the computers at chess see, if I can take on d2 or not,
I
because...
doubt it. Looks horrible.
Okay, here has also two options. He can take on d7 and he can take on b7.
Oh, take on d7. Let's look at the simple one first.
Okay, rook b8,
b5.
b5. Okay, let's say I take, you take, and I go bishop f4.
Aha. All right.
I was not so sure about this, actually.
And
Even
if,
though
I,
it looks-
if I play queen takes h4 there.
Ah, I can't. Okay, this I missed, of course. Maybe I should first go king g7 then. Then you have check here on e5. Oh, you're right, actually.
It looks horrible.
The position becomes a little bit strange.
Yeah.
Actually, here, after d takes c6, I trusted him more than I trusted me. And since
Yeah.
he played this move, I knew that I can't take on d2.
Oh,
This
right,
was my
okay.
logic.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I played b takes c6. He went for rook c2, and
So what sort of strength does a player have to be before you trust him completely?
This is
That's
a
it,
good
so
question.
yeah. So you're playing someone with 2,500 and he plays d takes c6. What do you do? Do you think about it? Let's say you're playing Magnus Carlsen and he plays d takes c6.
I think I wouldn't even lose a second at like he takes c6.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I thought, I mean, my logic was like, okay, I have 2 moves, but if I take on d2, he has again 2 moves and both look bad for me.
Mhm.
This was already one
Yeah.
thing. The
But
other thing is like,
that looked like quite a serious inaccuracy what you did. But okay, go on.
okay, rook c2
Yeah.
and bishop f6.
Mhm.
And here he played queen e2. I think he didn't want to play queen e3
Mhm.
because he was afraid of knight e5 here.
Yeah.
And then after bishop f1, knight f5, and bishop takes a6, sorry.
Bishop takes a6.
6, and then knight
check,
f5.
Or check first? Do you check first? Or
I
no?
check first, it doesn't matter. Well, I don't know.
No,
He
you
said
check,
like
check,
he's checking
check, check.
first,
Check
and then
first. And then
knight
knight g4,
f5.
you got knight g4 check.
So he has to go back, and then knight f5. And he said like he didn't
no,
like
no,
that.
this looks,
Looks very dangerous.
yeah, monstrous play.
For this reason, he went queen e2. And here I thought like rook b8 looks like a logical move. And now the moment comes where I blundered basically the position. Because I simply missed bishop takes g6 this trick. And I took on b4. If I first play king g7,
Yeah, you're
there
just
is-
winning.
I will just be winning probably. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just winning.
I don't know what I thought. I thought like anyway he's taking on e6 and it doesn't matter if I play king g7 or taking on b4. This was my
So
stupid...
basically you totally outplayed him.
Yes, but I had no time and
Well,
here
wait,
probably I... He
How could you use up so much? No, serious question. How can you use up so much time? Because you weren't doing anything.
The point is like... No, I had like about 45 minutes when I played e5. But after e5, e4 I spent quite
Right.
some. This was a point. Before I played fast for my standards.
Mhm.
But here probably I underestimated him with this rook d2 move. I thought like
right.
what a rubbish move, you know. And
Yeah.
this was my problem. I just forgot to check this bishop takes
Yeah.
g6, and this is actually costing me the win.
How about you, Stuart?
Mm.
Do you
Tell me.
often think that what a rubbish move when you're playing someone?
What, 27-33? It's never happened, Nigel.
But okay, we had both like 1 minute on the clock, so I thought
Okay,
like okay,
okay.
maybe I thought like he just wants to create a pin after I take on
Yeah.
b4. This was my naive kind of thinking. Okay, I took on b4 and he took on g6. I understood that now
You'd screwed
things
up.
become complicated. And I decided here to take. Okay, if I don't take, then he keeps the bishop, and I was afraid maybe I will even blunder mate with like this
Yeah.
diagonal queen e4 stuff at some moment.
Right.
And so I thought like I would just change everything because it was still looking tempting to me. Rook
Okay.
d7, check, and knight f7. He's forced to take on c6, check,
Yeah.
and king h2.
Some people thought you were winning here.
Actually, I don't think I'm winning here. Even though I thought first I was winning, but then I thought like I was not winning. Here there's 2 candidate moves. There's rook f1 and there's bishop e5. Even though bishop e5 looks to me much more logical. Because he's forced to play g3, rook b2 and king h1. And here actually I understood that I will not be able to win this
Yeah, so
position.
what's wrong with rook f1?
I don't know, I somehow didn't like it. I thought like maybe even I can play g4 after rook f1.
Rook f1 looks tremendous.
What about g4 here?
G4, what's that? Okay, now
It's-
now we take. Now we take. Yeah. And
Now you take on passant.
knight g5.
Knight g5. I don't manage even to... Or maybe I should...
Knight g5.
okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I should go king g1.
King g1. Okay,
Yeah.
bishop d4.
And then knight queen d7, which is important to have.
Okay. Rook f4 check. Oh, but no, why? Bishop takes c5.
You can take
Bishop
on
c5.
c5. Okay, this
End
is
of
also
game.
over.
Can it just end? End of game. Bishop takes c5.
Okay, maybe I should go for something else.
Because it looks like you're going to give checkmate here. Lizzie, you put that pawn on h4, so you would get these tricks.
But bishop e5 looked so inviting.
Yeah.
But I just missed rook f1 this option.
What about? Yeah.
So the point is that this can't be defended. So this one allows check.
Yeah, so this
And-
is over. And
and-
bishop takes g3
Yeah,
even, it's
even
over.
bishop takes g3 is over.
Yeah.
Completely winning.
So there should be some other move here.
Why?
Just because.
You've got fantastic coordination. That's
Yeah.
the great thing here. Okay, so what if we try and just push something? Oh, but then you've got bishop e5 check anyway, and rook takes, and then pawn takes, and that's going to be winning.
Yeah.
In
No,
fact, I can't see any defense at all here.
f4 maybe. f4.
F4.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I have at least after.
Bishop d4 looks winning. No, g4 is possible then.
Also, can't I just go queen takes a6 after bishop d4 and attack?
Maybe.
Knight e5 I can take and g3.
So if you take this,
Queen d7.
queen takes a6.
No, I
Queen-
queen d7.
And if you go here,
King g1.
king g1,
Ah, the
bishop
bishop
d4.
4. I'm again made. And I lose c5 pawn, then it's
And
over.
then you just take, and then you're going to win. Because 5 plus 3 plus 3 is more than 9.
Yeah, I missed rook f1. Because bishop e5.
You'll remember that next time, won't
Yeah,
you?
next time I will. Bishop e5 looked so tempting,
Yeah.
but actually here after king h1 it's not so tempting anymore.
It reminds me, I once had a game against Michal Tal, and he just started sacrificing things like this. And I ended up with rook, bishop, and knight against queen. But against Tal, the numbers didn't seem to add up at all. He had a totally different arithmetic when you were playing. You know, the normal rules just didn't apply. So it ended up in a draw. Actually, that was it was a very strange draw. You know, it was a game in 1985 in Nestved, and he at some moment in the opening he played this move f4 with the intention of playing f5. So I played g6 to stop it, and then he played f5. So, you know, it was a different kind of chess when.
Yeah,
But you were. You put the ball over the crossbar.
I put the what?
The ball. There's a footballing metaphor. You know, that's.
Ah, I think we have the same in German.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here I understood that this position will not be probably.
Yeah. The problem is now. What? No. Can you explain? Okay.
Now I have queen d7 and I will not manage to move my
What's wrong
knight.
with queen takes a6? Isn't it?
Okay, then there's knight g5 and things become quite tricky for him again. Because there's rook h2 and take on g3 and knight f3 kind of threats. But he has queen d7
Yeah, but
simply.
But if we can I just see that a second? So takes.
Yeah.
Knight
Knight g5.
g5, you say.
Yeah.
And if I put the queen back here, you do what?
I can rook h2
Rook h2.
and then I win the queen. Knight h3, rook f2 and over.
You trickster. You trickster.
But unfortunately there's queen d7, you know, and then I will not here.
Yeah,
No,
well,
rook
that
f2
wins, that wins the queen as
Doesn't
well.
yeah, doesn't
everything
matter.
wins the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is after knight d7, queen d7 I will not continue.
Yeah, okay, so he should pin.
He will pin queen d7 and here I understood I mean, I offered draw before, but I checked this position and I thought, anyway, I can't improve. Because he will play c6. And after king f6, I always have these nasty checks.
So why are you not winning here, Elisabeth?
Because I'm not winning.
So let's say, okay, I'll coordinate. I'll show why I'm winning. I put my bishop here because I
Okay.
protect everything.
Okay, I play c6.
And now I stop your pawn from queening.
Okay.
Okay. And now the idea is what? Aha.
Mm.
And you're saying it's not so easy for me to make progress. I don't know what the point of that is. Okay. It's not that easy, is it?
And I was afraid that the longer
Well-
I play, the more I can blunder, you
Yeah,
know.
well, I don't think you can really blunder at all, but
You don't know me. No, I understood I already missed the win on my chances for it. Okay, rook f1 I actually didn't see, I must admit this, but
yeah,
rook
Yeah.
bishop g6 I also blundered.
good.
2 blunders.
How much more time do we have?
I don't know. I thought, did you want to share something, Nigel?
I didn't have
Yeah.
anything in mind. How long is it supposed to go
I'm
on
not
for?
sure,
Just,
I also
It's
thought maybe.
20 minutes left.
Yep, have we got some
Well, first a little
questions?
round of applause for this,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Okay. Nigel, if you're very welcome to show us part of a game or a little something if you want. And also
fine.
maybe, if you'd be so kind at the end, take a couple of questions from the audience. Is that possible? Before we finish?
Yeah, I can show
Yeah.
a couple of moves of my game. So where is it? Where's my game?
Yeah, here.
There. Oh yes.
You have to double click, I think.
Double. Where's
First close the other board.
Yeah, okay. And then double click. Where's it gone? I can show a few moves. Okay, so it seems that every year I play against Edward Pauper with black, and it's happened. This is the third year in a row. The previous 2 times I played him in Edmonton in Alberta, in a small tournament there, and
I think it's his first time in Gibraltar, Nigel.
it's his first time in Gibraltar,
Yeah.
yeah. So he came along, and I wasn't very well prepared, mainly because I had the president of the English Chess Federation threatening to sue me and to have me removed as delegate from the federation, and that wasn't very good for my preparation. So legal threats are not conducive to very good chess.
You didn't lose, Nigel.
I didn't lose, yeah. So I basically hadn't prepared at all. Bishop b4. And this is a kind of a standard move. It looks a bit funny at first, this knight d2. White's idea is to try and play for a quick e4. It's to gain control of the e4 square. So I played knight c6, which isn't bad, because it more or less forces e3. And I don't know, I played, I think, in an incredibly stupid way. I just was totally out today. I barely slept last night. And I played knight e7, which is a pretty stupid move, I think. I think if I'm going to play in the way I did, I should play bishop takes c3. And after takes, I should play knight e7, if I'm going to do this basic plan. And here my idea is after, let's say, I don't know what he should play actually, but after some move, let's suppose Queen C2, I would play Knight G6. And my intention is to play H6 and attack his bishop. And this may be an interesting idea.
But he should maybe take on f6 now.
He should maybe take on f6, but I don't think Morozevich would worry about such things.
Okay, not worry.
Morozevich doesn't usually worry about anything, really. Just something going wrong with his position, just collapsing, doesn't matter. As long as he's got a few tricks, he's a happy guy. So that would have been, I think, a lot better. I played Knight E7. I think it was just a lousy move, really a bad move.
Looks like a sort of John Spielman move.
It's a Johnson, that's, as I said. Yeah. So he took, after some thought, and I think White should just play Queen C2, and after some move, I don't know what I should do. Maybe I should castle, actually. And I thought he should castle queenside. And I thought White was slightly better here. I don't like my setup at all. But maybe it's not that bad. I could switch the computer on and try and find out. But I wasn't very impressed with what I was doing. So he went Queen B3 and Bishop A5. And now I thought perhaps he could play Queen A3. After Queen A3 I was just intending to play C5. And this loses a pawn. But after takes I can maybe I can take this. And maybe I can play Queen B6, I don't know. But I was thinking just to take and to play Queen B6, something like that.
Queen d4?
Yeah, Queen d4 is possible, and then I play e5. I just thought it was maybe not that clear. What do you think? Not so clear. Yeah. So those were my ideas. I didn't think Queen b3 was absolutely the top move, but he started to kind of drift a little bit here. I still thought he should be castling queenside, actually. But he played bishop e2 and bishop f3. And Edward, he explained to me after, we just had the briefest of looks, not an extensive look at the game. He said anyway it's his nature to be a little bit conservative. And also, as he'd lost his previous 2 games against me with White, he was a bit nervous. So he decided to play very simply. And he thought, well, he explained it to me. He said, you know, I've got all pieces developed, you know, good pawn structure, very solid, therefore White should have a good game. But actually, I think Black has a good position here. I played d5, and everything is a question of tempi. And this move, I'm just attacking his pawn actually on c4. So he took, and now my queen comes into the game. And he took with the queen, and that's maybe not bad. And rook g8. So I get some use of doubling, having doubled pawns. I've suddenly got pressure down the g file. And actually Black has a very satisfactory position. And he went wrong, I think, quite soon. He went knight e1.
But isn't it forced?
Yeah. And now, his next move was really bad, I think. I haven't checked the game, but I thought it was a really bad move, f3. And he just missed my reply, which was Queen G5. And now suddenly I have this. Which one is it? Do this one. How do I?
Yes, you push this one.
Yeah, and then click.
Yeah.
I have this pressure against E3, and also I'm playing C5, and he's got all these pieces on the back rank. So getting your pieces out actually counts for something. Development, coordination. So he's got a very nice, very pretty structure, and it just doesn't matter at all. Black is doing well. And here I just went F4, Queen G6, Queen D3, at C5, and well, now my pawn structure is straightened, and
Your
it's, I mean,
pieces,
just everything is, black is close to winning this position actually. It's a really very big advantage. Here, did some funny move. King G7 was okay. And Rook D2, and I think this has got to be a winning position. I just haven't checked it. And probably I should, yeah, I think I got it very, very wrong. I have to play the most obvious move, really. And after Rook E1, I just play Rook C8, and I think that's about the end of the game. It's not too difficult.
Why did you lose your way here, Nigel?
I think a lack of concentration, exhaustion actually.
Mm.
You know, a lot of
lack of sleep, huh?
lack of sleep. So that was it. Lack of concentration, and it's not a difficult variation. For some reason, I was just in my mind. I was thinking of taking everything, and this was just very, very stupid. I was thinking of Rook takes B2. I kept thinking of Rook takes B2 for some reason. So if now Rook takes E3, Rook B1 check, and I get the piece back, and you know, clear advantage. But I thought just G3 in the endgame, and now if I move my knight somewhere, doesn't matter where it is, suddenly Rook takes E6 is possible, and probably this is still winning for me. If I just play Rook C8, just ridiculous actually. I think the position is just completely hopeless.
Mm.
Totally gone.
Mm.
Totally gone. I mean, I'm
Mm.
just mating. It's very easy chess. And I play Rook takes B2, and you know, lack of concentration, I thought, oh yeah, here I'm winning. And suddenly he goes knight G4, only move. And if I put my pawn on, if I play F5, then the knight comes into E5.
Had you just missed knight G4?
No, I had seen knight G4, but actually I thought Rook C8 was very strong, and then he goes E4. And I somehow underestimated this. And we can get these sort of variations. I can play, for example, here, takes, King H1. I can even play F5 here. It's an no, knight E3 is possible, excuse me. So, takes, Rook here, and I'm just not going to mate, I think. I mean, obviously I have a draw, and I'm better in the endgame, but I couldn't calculate a win. Maybe there's a win there somehow, but I couldn't. It sort of started to look difficult to me. So these were the things I was thinking about. So I went knight C3. he went f5, and I just took and went g5 and just stopping any activity. Now rook e1 is a good move. And I took, and he went here, and obviously black is much better. I can exchange the rooks. This is kind of the most obvious move, but it didn't look that clear to me because I thought
You play without king.
I'm playing without the king, yeah. And, you know, something like this, I didn't really see what I was doing. Here. And then what?
Draw.
Yeah. You know, I can do things like that, and I can probably do better. I can probably get somehow do something better, but it felt too drawish. So I went rook b8, which is a better try, and I started. Now I went b4, and that's very important because he has to force this this back. And okay, maybe that's not the best. It's a strange possibility actually. Maybe knight a2 is a better move. I'm not sure. Looks a bit odd. Maybe knight a2 is not bad. It sort of occurred to me later.
What's your plan, Nigel?
What is my plan? I want to play rook c8. That's my plan.
Yeah, what is the difference between the knight on d5 and the knight on a2?
Because, well, I don't know. There is a problem with my... Okay, I went knight... It looked more logical. But I couldn't really say... I can play rook c8, but now this one gets hit. And I didn't think... this didn't look like it was any good.
You have rook c3?
I have rook c3, and he takes.
Ah, okay.
And I
Doesn't
still
matter.
didn't see that this was going to win. I can take this, I can take with the pawn as well.
Yeah, you can also take with a pawn, but it doesn't.
And something like... I'm playing without my king. That's my basic problem. I'm playing without my king. So it just didn't feel winning. It just felt like a draw. That, and even if I exchange the B pawn for the F pawn, which I'm not sure I can do, even in those circumstances, it
Can you
feels
play
like
g4?
I can try. I can try. G4, yeah. Something like this.
Knight somewhere.
Knight where?
Good question. D4, d5?
Knight D5, I don't know. Maybe here.
Mm.
Oh, this may be winning now. B2
Two.
may be winning, but maybe something else. Okay, G3. Then to go.
King h6.
Yeah, that's possible.
But even if you get f5 pawn, maybe it's not enough.
Yeah, this may be some chances. This is maybe not so. No, this is maybe quite good. But it's quite close to a draw. And I
Yeah.
couldn't decide what to do. I played, after this, I actually went for a rook and pawn endgame, but he was just in time. And the next move is very important because if I get in king d6, I'm okay. And he's just in time to activate. I went b3. In fact, my rook has no other possibilities. And check. And here, and... well, actually, I was hoping he would play rook a5 check. Sorry, after this. I was hoping he would get rook a5 which gives me many more chances because I can just move my king,
Mm.
and he can check me as much as my king just goes forward.
Yeah.
So then this really would be excellent winning chances, but G4 or something, I think it's probably a winning position. In fact, he's in Zugzwang already. Yeah, so that's a winning position, but I mean, he's not a bad player at all. So he went King B2, and now I've lost a pawn, and he solidified, and I just can't do anything. I played some sort of tricky moves, trying to do something, and he's in time, and he's going King D5 and King E6. It's just a draw. So that was it. That was
Okay.
it. So disappointment for me,
Yeah.
but a poor game, really. I mean, I had created the chances and had excellent prospects of winning, but I messed it up. So and he defended well. Having played the opening and early middle game rather badly, he put up very stout resistance, but I should have done better. So, any questions?
Any questions from the audience for
Yeah.
Nigel or for Liz? Yeah, please, sir.
I've got at least one question, maybe two. My first question is about the arithmetic.
Mm.
Like you, I was also brought up on the 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 9. But
I like
I had
that.
a 30-year break from chess.
Yeah.
I came back about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I had to read 1 or 2 books.
Yes.
The world seems to have completely changed since we learned all that stuff. Because exchange sacrifices are 2 a penny. I've had it
Yeah, they are.
over 3 years.
Yeah.
Where's the arithmetic gone? And now the books I'm reading now, which are recent books, not like the old stuff I used to read, they constantly emphasize dynamic play. And there's no rules, and you've got to judge according to the position. So for duffers like me, that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you have any comment on that?
Well, that's unfortunately computers have taught us a lot of things that basically there are no principles anymore. It just so those sort of basic guidelines, they just don't work. And it's all calculation. You see certain of the young players today, I mean, they just don't bother about weak squares, stuff like that. If they've got dynamic play, it's sufficient. So things have changed. The chess world has changed.
What's it like for you, Nigel? Obviously, you grew up in a different generation
Yeah.
almost to the young players of
Yeah,
today.
well, actually, the one thing I'll say is, I'm a very lazy person, and I like computers in a way because now I can prepare pretty fast with them. That's because they're easy to use. You just put the position there, you hit the reference, and you find the games, and then you can put your engine on. And I flatter myself that I have reasonably good judgment. So I can make my decisions quite quickly. So that has changed. But in general, I think today's players are better simply because they calculate better. Just the quality of calculation is that much higher. People are used to using their analysis engines, and they get to see tactical themes much quicker. So that's what's changed, and the game has advanced. I mean, the computer has had a lot of negative effects as well, and it's had some positive effects on the game. So you win on the one hand and you lose on the other. Okay, that was the first question. Yeah. Second one.
I did have one. That was about, obviously you're under stress. and real life does get in the way. Of
Yeah,
chess
it does.
players.
It does.
Are there any strategies to cope with that? I mean, I certainly find that I'm still working pretty hard, and then I have to play a match in the evening, and maybe there's been some trouble in the office or something like that. Or
Yeah.
I'm an academic, so a paper's been rejected or something that's weighing on my mind, and then I've got an important chess match. What strategies can we adopt to cope? Or what are strategies over a long chess
Yeah,
player
it's
have
actually,
you
it's,
found
I don't
work?
know. I don't know.
The Asians believe in yoga. This is true.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Asian people doing yoga.
Yeah. And why aren't you doing it?
Oh, lazy.
But do Asian chess players do yoga?
Yeah, I
Really,
mean,
yeah?
also South.
Zhao Shui.
Yeah. She told me that she doesn't do sport, but she does yoga. And Anand is well known that he does yoga. And I think many other Asian people do actually yoga.
Does
They-
Magnus Carlsen do yoga?
He doesn't look like.
I'm Indian and I have dabbled with yoga. It doesn't help me in this the stress circumstance.
Yeah.
Well, I think we always in German we have a phrase.
That's my yoga.
We say we have a German phrase saying like the belief is lifting mountains. So if you believe in it,
Yeah.
then it may actually help.
That sounded very deep.
I know.
Anyone else?
No questions for Liz also? Liz or Nigel, any final questions before we wrap up?
Why didn't you finish your second place?
I got so excited with the game. Yeah, no, it was disappointing. It happens, you know. It's not that a draw in itself is such a.
I remember, Nigel, when I
terrible
think last
result.
year,
Yeah,
was
I
it you
lost.
lost in
I
the
lost,
second round?
lost in
Yeah.
the second round.
and you
so-
came back like a steam
yeah,
train. You
I
know,
was
and,
black in the second round, and I lost. I played incredibly badly. I mean, here at least I obtained a winning position
Yes.
before I screwed up.
Yeah.
And then last year I just lost like a complete idiot in the second round, just without any chance at all.
Almost your first ever loss in Gibraltar, I think.
Almost. I lost to Cotronias.
Cotronias in the first year, wasn't it? The first year.
Was it the first year? Or? Yeah, well, it was the
Yeah.
first or the second year. I
First or
forgot.
second.
Yeah, maybe it was the first year.
So, do you believe in the Swiss gambit?
The Swiss Gambit. Actually, it's not so bad to lose early on. Actually, I was thinking about this because I played in an open tournament with Lizzie in Jakarta
Yeah.
last year, and I hadn't really been paying too much attention to your play, but I saw, okay, then we were playing in whichever round it was, towards the end.
Yeah, 8 or 7
So-
rounds.
You know, she had plenty of points, so I'm thinking, yeah, she's having a great tournament. In fact, you were playing absolute rubbish, weren't you? I mean, you sort of...
I felt very badly, but then actually
And then you started.
Again, I started, yeah.
Suddenly,
I suddenly started.
You began really like a total patzer.
Of course, I began horribly. But
And
then actually
and
there
then
was this,
suddenly you were winning.
but it happened because this nice Armenian, he was very gentle and I could mate him.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I
And
saw
then there
that,
was
yeah.
this Ivancevic, he was winning, but he was somehow giving me half a point, and then I was boosted with some
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah,
And then you came.
yeah, and you drew with Uncle Nigel.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. Very comfortable. It was an improvement on the 4 NCL.
This
wasn't
was a big improvement.
it? Where she lost in 16 moves with white
Yeah.
against me. But anyway, no, you were. That was a steady draw. Steady draw. Yeah.
I've got a question for Lizzie, if I can have one more. Don't want to monopolise
Sure.
it. No one
Yeah.
else seems to want to ask
No,
questions.
it's
When you
far
played
away.
like last you were today, which is a fantastic game, I was in here listening to the commentary, and there was a vote as to who was going to win. No one could work it out. So it was a draw, maybe that's why. But you're playing against a very strong player. How do you avoid the fear factor? Because you didn't show any fear, apart from maybe right at the
No,
very
she
end
was
of the
terrified.
game. No fear at all. Are you fearful? And if so,
Well, I think I'm fearful to some extent, but nowadays chess is less important to me now. I mean, nowadays I always say to myself, I'm in the age I should get married, I should get kids. So chess is just a game, and there are much more important things in life. And this actually is, if you take the pressure from you that you have to play chess to make your living, and great. I mean, I'm lucky enough to say that I don't have to play successfully to make my living. So it's less pressure. Then things are more easy, actually. You just see it as a game and you enjoy it. And that's how I always think. I always say to myself, it's more important to get married, to get kids and everything, and things become easier.
You won't be saying that after you've got married and had kids. I'll say no more on that.
But actually, there were at least 2 pregnant women who became world champion. I think this Chinese, this Xu Chua, or whatever was her name, she became world champion in 2006, and she was in the 3rd month pregnant.
Yeah.
And this Polovnikova Talik, she was pregnant as well, and she got European champion. So there is something about it.
Yeah.
Are you pregnant, Liz?
Not yet. If I had been, probably I would have won easily today, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming. And unless there's one final question, we'll maybe wrap up there.
Yep.
But and a big round of applause once again for Elisabeth Paehtz and Nigel. And see you all tomorrow. Thanks for coming. Thank you.